Most bad moods can be traced back to being exposed to multiple of your defects at once. Because if I were to tell you, hey, you haven't really been that disciplined these past couple of days, you would digest that. You would interpret that as a single defect that you can work towards eliminating or making slightly less noticeable. But if I were to tell you, hey, you haven't been that disciplined these past couple of days, and you also do not know how to drink water, like you haven't been drinking water at all, that's when it kind of gets overwhelming. That's when you don't really have enough energy or brain power to actually digest the things that I'm criticizing. Most of the time, when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're feeling like the worst person in the world, it's not when you actually find out one of your defects. It's when two of your defects get thrown in your face. It's when two different things that you are most likely oblivious of, actually get shoved down your throat. And you can't even like digest them well. You literally bite off more than you can chew unintentionally. But most of the time, and this is the tragedy of the story, you can't really control that. You can't control the fact whether or not a person says one thing that's wrong with you or 50 things that are wrong with you in the span of like 1 minute or 10 seconds. You cannot control that. What you can control is your interpretation. Because if we were to interpret one defect at a time, one criticism of our character and personality, one at a time, then we could actually interpret it, digest it, actually give it some time to settle in our mind, and combat it. But if we interpret 50 at a time, we probably won't solve any of them. Which is why I recommend, and this is probably a bit controversial because the modern consensus of actually improving is basically, oh, look at everything that's wrong with you and solve everything now. Do not wait. Do not wait to improve. You have so much to improve. Improve now. What are you gonna do when you're old? You're going to die with these defects. What are you gonna do? Improve, improve, improve. But if you improve 50 things at a time, you won't be improving them. You will just be tricking yourself into thinking that you're actually doing something to improve your personality, when in fact you're trying to rush it. And you can't rush defects. You can't rush improvement. If you have 100 things wrong with you, you can't solve them all in a day. You need to take them one at a time. Which is why, if a person tells you, hey, you're not drinking enough water, you're not disciplined enough, and you also do not know how to speak clearly, your words are not intelligible, just interpret one of those things. Because if the next day you try to drink 3 liters of water, do vocal exercises, and also what is the next one? Call yourself like dissolute and lacking of constraint and whatever in order to motivate yourself to be more disciplined and have more willpower. All of them will collapse. You can't do all three of those things. If you actually want them to have a good base, to actually how can I say this, stick to your character, stick to your long-term personality, you need to take them one at a time. Okay, today I'll drink a bit more water. Perfect. What can I do tomorrow whilst also applying the thing that I'm trying to solve today? What can I do in order to improve slowly but surely, without rushing it, but like still doing it? No matter how slow your improvement is, if you're improving slowly and unintentionally, unintentionally, you're still improving. You're still winning. You don't need to improve 50 things at a time because that's impossible. You need to improve one thing at a time. Let it stick, let it settle, and let it be kind of decomposed, digested by your like digestive juices in your brain, in your little comprehension machine, and then move to the next thing. And again, if you get exposed to multiple of your defects at once, do not interpret them all. Take them one at a time. Because, as I said, if you try to solve 50, you probably won't solve anything. This is the easiest way of actually, how can I say this? Stopping bad moods. Because most bad moods are just provoked by being exposed to so many of your defects and feeling absolutely powerless in front of them. Because in a week, you solve one thing a day. You've solved 7 things of the thousands that you will need to solve. Okay, you've solved 7. But if you try to solve all of the 5,000 things in one day, in 1 week, you probably, most likely, won't get that far. Improvement is so goddamn slow. I've been trying to improve my life for over a year, and just yesterday, I kind of realized that I didn't even make it a goal to drink enough water. I wasn't even drinking water, and I was trying to. I've been improving for over a year. It's a slow process, and you need to act as if it is a slow process. Speaking clearly, controlling your vocal cords in order to actually make something comprehensible and not stutter like I just did takes time. I've been trying to do it for over a year, and I will only master it if I try to take it slowly in the span of decades. Of course, I'm not gonna be good now because I've only been doing it for a year. Only a year. Yes, it sounds very scary, especially when you're aware of the thousands of things that you need to solve and that you just do not have the power to solve right now. It takes years for them to settle in. It takes years for your face, for your to actually get motivation in order to clean your face every single day, to get rid of your acne, to drink water, to stop eating the absolutely fantastic food that your mother makes, to speak nicely to every single person that you encounter. It takes decades to do this. If you can take it one step at a time, if you do not rush it, if you actually see it for what it is, a slow, pretty painful process that, as I said, is not fast at all. You cannot speed run it in a colloquial way. I don't know, colloquial that's a speed run it, whatever, video game reference. I don't care. You can't speed run it. You need to take it very, 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 very slowly. Take one thing at a time. Interpret one thing at a time. Digest one thing at a time. So, in conclusion, if you want to stop feeling bad, do not try to solve everything about you in one day. Interpret one thing at a time, digest one thing at a time, interpret one thing at a time, and do not feel bad if in one day or even in 10 years you're not perfect. Because that's why we choose perfection as the ultimate goal, because we will never truly achieve it. I'll see you later.